if you are going to be successful in casting a vision and getting people to buy into it, they have to be, just as you said, at a place mentally, certainly, but even in some regards, environmentally to see it. And so if people find themselves unable to get someone to see the vision and buy into that, that doesn't necessarily mean that their vision is bad or even that they're doing a poor job communicating. It may just be that it isn't the right place or the right time where people can imagine it.
No, that's exactly right. A little more close to home. So my wife actually has went to undergraduate. Her undergraduate major was in interior design. So she has an incredible ability to see colors and textures and what would look good with each other. And I don't possess that skill. And so I can't tell you how many times we've had the conversation about, she would say, okay, can't you see this? We'll paint that wall this color and we'll do that room a different color and we'll use this fabric here. And fortunately, we have evolved to a point in our relationship where I just say, it will be great. I can't see it, but I trust you completely because you're never wrong. And so I think to some extent, it's sort of like that as well. I think, you build trust within a relationship, within an organization. And so even when they may not be able to fully see the vision you're talking about, they believe in you enough that they buy in because they've seen enough and they've experienced enough to say, okay, let's give it a try. And that's a very important element in this as well. So, leadership, there's a lot of levels to it, and every leader is a little different. I think it's good that they are, because the personality and character play a big role in that, and it does need to be, it can't be contrived. It can't be put on. You can't assume a persona that's not your own and be effective, I don't believe. So it needs to be real. It needs to be genuine, authentic. And so you need to make it your own style, but building that sense of relationship so that people can see, okay, I get it. You haven't steered us wrong. And so being trustworthy is a big part of it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on previous episodes, we've hit on this idea of trust a lot on the science of leadership and competence also. So I did this study, and our listeners know I've mentioned it several times, but study where I interviewed 51 four-star generals and admirals and got their perspectives on leadership, and then scientifically analyzed that and have written a book, and we're editing the book right now. And so the 4 stars of leadership are character, competence, caring, and communication. And you really have hit on all those. Trust is built on character and caring about people, the relationships there. Competence, you mentioned. Basically, people can see, hey, this person has been able to accomplish other things before. And then obviously communicating and broadcasting that vision, I think, is vital. So you hit on each one of those, and that wasn't even prompted. So that's great. Well, I think about John F. Kennedy a lot, maybe just because he was such this, at least in the history classes and things that I've seen, videos and so on, of him. He was just this charismatic visionary. And so as I was thinking about our discussion, I was reminded of his speech at Rice University in 1962 when he cast this vision for going to the moon. And, why does Rice play Texas? If we took Kennedy in that speech and put him in front of a crowd in 1862, 100 years before, they would have never been able to see it. They would have thought he was absolutely ridiculous and insane. But that crowd in Houston in 1962 was at a place mentally and environmentally where they could imagine it and could buy into it. And because of that, on July 20th, 1969, we landed on the moon.
Yep.
You know, just that's incredible. But that's the power of having a vision, being able to cast the vision, knowing the right time and the right place to do so. And so, wow, that's
So
powerful.
have you ever thought it would be, unfortunately, we can't ask him because he didn't live long enough, but it would be interesting to know if he really believed that we could do that in the decade, or if, because I mean, this happens as well. Sometimes you may cast a vision that you're not even convinced is doable, but you know that the journey to attempt that will ultimately be far better than if you didn't try. And so I think that's an important thing as well. Sometimes the ultimate goal may not be the thing that you set out to do initially. Sometimes it's limited. I mean, what would it have been like if he said, "Hey, we're going to go to Mars by in the next 20 years"? I mean, we may be at Mars now. I don't know.
True.
It's but the fact that he was willing to throw out a really big, bodacious kind of goal,
a moonshot
that just kind of put everybody back on their heels for a minute and said, "Wow, is that even possible?" And then within almost minutes, people said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Right.
It's like, okay. And of course, you got to understand the history of what was going on at that time in the world, and sort of the attitudes and culture in America at the time. But he tapped into it in a way that was incredible. And of course, as you know, the spinoff, discoveries and developments out of the space program far exceeded even landing on the moon. So
yeah, we're still feeling the repercussions of that.
Yes.
The technology that we're using in this moment
That's
to
right.
do this podcast, a result of that. Yeah. Just thinking about, like, when he said that from a science standpoint, from a materials engineering standpoint, like, that was insane. There was nobody would have ever been like, yeah, we can do that, because we didn't have most of the materials. We didn't have even the math figured out for how to do it. And to do all that in 7 years, because he said it in 62 and we landed in 69.
That's right.
Just incredible. But that is a great question. Did he actually believe it?